So the new Ford Focus Mark 4.5 facelift. And if you want to know more about it, stay tuned to the channel and yeah, subscribe for plenty more content to come. Now I have done recent videos on the new facelift for the Fiesta ST, and I figured for the Focus ST would be worth doing as well. Now the interesting thing is if I check on the Ford website, you can't actually order the Focus ST, certainly from the UK website anyway. So I can't go through any of that just yet, but I'll keep you posted in a future video and I'll definitely do one. But I have found one, and I've found some really good pictures of one in the mean green color, which everyone seems to love so much. A car, I'm actually driving the facelift Fiesta ST, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Like the video because it really does help me produce more content as well, and thank you so much for the support. So as you can see, this is the Focus ST, obviously the bigger brother to the Fiesta ST, but the same sort of color. Just as a little overview on just the stats for this car, it's got 0 to 16 sort of like in the high fives, 5.7, 276 brake horsepower, 310 pound-foot of torque. It's a 4-cylinder, so it's got a little bit more punch than say like the Fiesta ST. And it's kind of obviously competing with the likes of the i30N, Civic Type R even, and Golf GTI, and it's in that sort of bracket. But let's go through it and let's just see what some of the changes are from kind of like the previous model. So I figured it would be quite good to show you the previous model actually, just a little bit to see the changes that they've done. And Ford have actually done some nice little changes actually, particularly with sort of like the front end, as I kind of mentioned with the Fiesta ST as well. But yeah, this is the old shape model, even though it's obviously quite new, a 21 plate, and this is a new one. And the main thing that's changed is I really think they've gone a little bit more American, which I actually quite like. I've always liked the sort of the front grills. You've got the big Ford badge on the front, which looks nice. That's kind of the change. And it's certainly more of an aggressive stance at the front of the car. I think it looks really, really cool. The lights are a little bit more sort of like a bit more lean, a bit cleaner as well, I feel. But let's go through some of these. You've obviously got the two twin exhaust pipes. I have actually driven this car. I drove it on track recently actually, not the facelift one. There isn't any change in sort of like power or torque figures as far as I'm aware from sort of checking it through. And that's actually a difference from when from the Fiesta ST, where it's actually gone up in torque for the facelift, which is quite cool. There's some obviously going through these pictures, you know, let me know what you think. I think it looks really, really nice. You know, it's certainly it's a well worth facelift. I think sometimes manufacturers do facelifts and they really just don't do enough. You've got the big sort of like a 19-inch wheels. They look really nice. Ford brakes are really, really good, particularly on their performance models. They've got something like they have something called like a brake booster, and it sort of manages the brake pressure for you as well, and it does stop well. I mean, I drove it on track around Thruxton, so I mean, if it can do that, it can do a lot of things. Inside, I mentioned the wheel is quite similar to say like the Fiesta ST now, the facelift model. You get like a few extra buttons. It's a little bit bigger. I mean, look at the size of that touchscreen. Wow. I mean, that is a proper big screen. I'm not going to lie, it looks a little bit too big. Interested to know what you guys think about that. Seats are super comfortable, and obviously you just get that little bit more space than the Fiesta. Again, Ford have gone sort of in-house with their seats, so it's now with Ford Performance rather than the Recaros. So very similar changes across the board. But there's that. There's that yeah, infotainment. I mean, that is quite impressive. Hopefully it works as good as it looks. I mean, it's quite Tesla-like almost, which is crazy for a car in this kind of segment. But you get all the toys as always, and yeah, it's a cool car, and you know, it drove really, really well when I sort of had a go in it. And to be honest with you, it is a car that I'd thoroughly recommend. I've always loved fast Fords. And you know, the Fiesta ST obviously a little bit lighter and a little bit more agile. This is probably a bit of a better sort of all-rounder, I suppose. And yeah, from the photos, particularly in the mean green, they've sort of done it quite well. They in the past with Focuses, they've sort of had them in orange, they've had them in yellow, and people have still bought them. So I get the colour sort of thing. It makes sense to me. I mean, obviously it's out there, and you've got to be strong to go for it. You know, you could play it safe with like a lesser colour and all that kind of stuff, grey or black. I mean, I've got a grey Mark 7 Golf R, so I'm one to talk. But particularly if you're getting it on like a lease or something like that, get it in a fun colour, because you're not worried about depreciation or residual. Yeah, I think if you own the car outright, or if you're getting it onto like a PCP when you can kind of own, you know, you will actually own it, then potentially maybe a toned down colour. But listen, we live once, it's been hard times. Get a fun colour, and Boundless Blue also looks really, really cool. But that's pretty much it on the Focus ST of sort of like the facelift stuff. Going through sort of like the older model, you know, a few little changes at the front just to obviously sharpen things up. Other than that, I mean, we can literally see it side by side. is there a huge amount of changes? I mean, the wheels look the same to me. They haven't changed those. The side looks the same. Maybe the rear lights are potentially a little bit more focused, excuse the pun, than they were before. The diffuser looks very similar. The spoiler looks pretty similar as well. I think obviously the infotainment has changed quite a lot. I mean, you look at the old one, and yeah, I mean that is a big change. This is actually an automatic as opposed to manual, but the screen has changed. And then you've obviously got the older Recaro seats. I say older. They were always fantastic, those seats. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're actually getting this facelift car and why it's not appearing on the Ford website to order. I imagine it's just issues with obviously like chip supplies and all these things that we kind of talked about in the past. But I'll definitely share a future video of going through it on the configurator, because it'll be interesting to see like ST2, ST3 kind of spec. This particular car is actually up for £33,450. It's a brand new car from a Ford dealer, available today. So that's kind of the money that you're looking for. Yeah, obviously these are the current prices and the strange times that we live in as well. But yeah, thoughts in the comments. Please do like the video. It really does help support the channel.